Good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, where we honor the many names of God, the many faces of God, and the many paths to God. I'm Roy Ely. I'm your platform assistant today. And will you join me in a moment of prayer? Spirit of love and good that exists in all of us, may we turn to that loving presence now as we venture into this new year, and let that guide our actions, our choices, our behaviors. May we realize that what we need to know is always available inside of us. And thank you, thank you, thank you for a community of people where we can come and celebrate that fact. Amen. So welcome also to our famous burning bowl ceremony, where you get to ditch whatever you'd like to get rid of and not carry with you into the next year. And I have to confess that I have 3 pieces of paper because I have lots of stuff I want to get rid of. I also wish that you could just write 5 pounds down on it and put it in the bowl and poof, it'd be gone. I don't think it works that way though, darn it. So I had a young friend say to me last night, oh, 2020, the year of clear vision, the year of corrected vision, the year of improved vision. May that be true. So we're going to affirm together our mission statement, but I'm going to challenge us all to think about meaning it and asking yourself, is this something I'm really invested in? Is this something I'm really involved with? So, together. We are a spirit-centered community, living love and uplifting lives. Spirit-centered, yes. So now we will have our daily word. Through spiritual connectedness, I find my strength. Knowing that I am a member of the human family and belong to a greater family of faith awakens my inner sense of spiritual strength and power. James Dillett Freeman, who is the former director of the Silent Unity Prayer Ministry, once described redwood trees as the perfect metaphor for shared spiritual strength. You know, he said, you'll never find a redwood standing alone. It takes several of them to intertwine their roots so that they can remain standing and survive the winds. Redwoods are like us, I suppose. They find their strength in community. My spiritual roots are intertwined with all of humanity. I am strengthened by my shared interconnectedness with God. And from the scriptures, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both. That's Proverbs 20:12. So Unity was founded on the idea that prayer works, prayer helps. And so we invite you, if you are feeling like you need prayer support, to fill out the forms that are in the seat back in front of you and put them in the offering when it goes around, or there's a prayer vessel at the back of the church. Here at Unity, we will pray with them for 30 days, and then they'll be sent on to Silent Unity back in Kansas, Missouri? Kansas. Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, where they will pray with them for 30 days also. So it's a wonderful service, and I urge you to take advantage of it. I don't know about you, but every time there's a family emergency, we are on the phone to Unity, getting Silent Unity on board with our family. So please take advantage of that. Today we have wonderful musicians, as always. We have our singer, Julie, and our piano player, Leanne, and we have Gary on bass and Steve on drums. Thank you, guys. And then the boys in the, I was going to say the boys in the band, but it's the boys in the box, right? We have back there Jim and Brian and Mark. Thank you for being there. So I think we're going to sing now. Please stand and sing, and then we'll greet your neighbors.
Okay. So we're going to sing Open Your Heart.
want to welcome anybody who's a newcomer. If you are brave enough to raise your hand, and are you a newcomer to us today? There's one here and one here. Feel free to fill out the form in front of you, and we will not follow you home, but you are welcome to get on our emailing list and find out what's going on here. We believe that people who come here are on a spiritual journey, and we are happy to be a part of your spiritual journey. And if you are joining us for the first time from a place as far away or your own home, welcome. We're glad to have you on our live stream. So it's time for announcements. Probably one of the most exciting is that the letters that you wrote to God last year are waiting in a basket outside on the table as you exit. So you what? They're in alphabetical order lying on the table, so you can actually even find it. It'd be very interesting. You know, I don't know if we sang the Heaven is Waiting for You last year, but one of the things that I gave up last year is believing that I wasn't enough. So we'll see if I said the same thing in my letter. So pick up your letters. If you wish to be clear about your personal and professional vision and then lay down a roadmap for success, sign up for A Clear Path to the Abundant Life video series by Mae McCarthy. She was here earlier this year, and we are now going to take her class if you so choose to do so. It will help you align with your CSO, which stands for Chief Spiritual Officer, and to tap into new sources of financial abundance. But you know, I've also heard someone who read her book and followed her program, it isn't just like money abundance, it's just abundance in general. So please consider, if you want to have a more abundant life, taking the class, even if you don't need any extra money. All right, ladies, imagine a carefree weekend of music, fun, and creativity on the beautiful shores of Lake Coeur d'Alene. You can enjoy the special women's retreat for only $175, and this includes 2 nights of lodging, 5 meals, along with a variety of workshops, music, and social activities. You can register online or in the hallway, and if you have questions, can they ask you, Nancy? Okay, raise your hand. So if you have questions about the women's retreat, this lady be the one to tell you about it.
And as a matter of fact, since it says register by December 25th and save $25, since it's up there, I'll give you today too if you want to register.
All right. You have one more day to save $25. Woohoo! There is a new member sign-up sheet in the hallway if you're interested in joining the church or finding more about Unity Out. No. Anyway, if you want to know more about us, feel free to sign up on that sheet. When we have enough names, we'll have a new member class. We have officially joined the 21st century. You can now give to this church by texting on your phone. You text the word give to this number right up there, and your donation will be sent to us. It's kind of miraculous. It's yeah. No miracles? So say that again, Brian.
It's not as miraculous as it sounds, but what it's doing is it's giving you access to a portal where you can put all your financial information in order to set up a contribution.
Right.
And in the future, you can renew your contribution more readily, but the first time it does require you to set up.
Right. I actually did know that. I'm sorry to be so blithe about it. It's like PayPal for churches. The whole idea is that this would replace PayPal, and you give through, and it's a very secure site. You can also use your phone to join our Thursday email blast. You just text the word Unity 83815 to the number 22828, and this text message will generate a prompt that you can safely submit to enter your email address. We will be officially closed on New Year's Day. And then next Sunday is Friendship Sunday, so stay for our potluck after the service. And our dear friend Linda Michaels' life is going to be celebrated on January 11th at NIC at Schuler Auditorium. Please join us. The Women of Unity are helping with the refreshments, and it's going to be, I suspect, a huge gathering. At 11, 3 o'clock. Thank you. And finally, you are invited to participate in the first meeting of the Coeur d'Alene Community Adaptation Project, CPAP, which is kind of funny because CPAP is that breathing machine, you know. CPAP is a forum for identifying climate concerns facing the greater Coeur d'Alene community and resiliency actions to keep the community, its economy, and natural systems healthy. Climate Action CDA is a program of the Kootenai Environmental Alliance, and Bill Irving is the president of the program. So feel free to take part. For more details about what's happening here, refer to your bulletin or go to our website, unitycenter.org, or like us on Facebook and share our events. And by the way, our Facebook page has been updated. It's very modern and looking a lot better. And if you like something that happens on Facebook, it goes to a larger community of people. So it's a good way to make our footprint larger in the community. Feel free to do that. So now it's time for meditation. What?
Something else. In my dream, children sing a song of love for every boy
listen to that without feeling a lot of things. Because that young man, he's an adult by now. That video is probably 12, 15 years old. But it's such a powerful statement, and it's one of the reasons why we're here today, right now, is to answer that question in our own lives, to answer the question, tell me why. Why am I here? What is life about? How can I engage in ways that I can use who I am and my passion about life and my understanding about who I am to make a difference in the world? And that's what, I believe that's what this process is about. You know, a lot of times in my experience of life, I'm overwhelmed by the moving pieces that go on in my life and in the world. When I look around, you can't hardly not see all of the challenges and issues and tragedies and hunger and all the things that occur in life, and hide in a cave, in what we think of as a secure cave. You'd have to be deaf and blind to miss the challenges in the world. And so I often sit and just ask why myself. You know, why? What is this about? And that's the great existential question, is what are we here for? What is our purpose in life? What's going on in our life experience that means we have an opportunity to make a difference in the world? Why do so many have so little and so few have so much? Why do so many have so little and so few have so much? Carrie and I were watching the Two Popes video on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's a really interesting thing if you have an opportunity to see it, about Pope Francis and Pope Benedict and their exchange. And one of the things that they were talking about, or Pope Francis is talking about in a speech that he gave, was about how that question, why do so many have so much, so few have so much and so many have so little? And it's the great question of our experience, and how can we change that to in a way that's appropriate, in a way that's meaningful. You know, we're tempted to think in our life experience as we move through our life that really the goal in life is to be secure. The goal in life is to have enough. The goal in life is to build up a retirement fund, or to take care of this, or to pay off the bills, or to do those kinds of things. And those things are important, certainly in our experience, because it's how we function and get along in our life experience. But it's not the answer to the greater question why we're here. You know, how can we earn the right to feel secure and be secure? You know, I don't know how many of you remember the last recession and how it might have impacted each person. It certainly impacts everyone in some way, and I remember that. And I remember the impact that I felt more than anything is that it reminded me of how fragile things are. You know, how little it takes to go off a cliff, literally. And how that affects us in our life and in our experience. And so it was a stark reminder of how vulnerable we are and how temporal things are. And I think it's important to remember that we are vulnerable and things are temporal. Anything that exists in this world will not exist forever. The only thing that's permanent is spirit. That our spiritual selves is the only permanence. It's the only thing that doesn't change. The only thing that changes about it is we bring more of it forth into our experience in a conscious way. I don't think the world was created for us to create our life of comfort and to sit back and in bliss. I don't think that's what it's about. I mean, it's okay to be comfortable and it's okay to feel good about where you are. That's not what I'm saying. But I think the world was designed to keep us on edge. To keep us on the edge. You know, they say that the job of ministers is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Okay? And you can say that about a lot of people, a lot of professions. Okay? But it's true about our spiritual life that it's, you know, it's about helping those who are afflicted, you know, and feeling secure or feeling okay about who we are in our own life experience. And I think that the world says that basically you're here to be creative. You're here to engage, to be a part of the not only the reality of what's going on, but a part of the solution to helping make this a better world. That's really what it's all about, and that's what we're about. So if you are physically competent and mentally alert, God will not let you rest on your laurels. The universe will not let you rest on your laurels. Life will not let you rest on your laurels. That the waters will be stirred. And remember that gospel, stir the troubled waters. The troubled waters will, that whole thing. The waters will be stirred. And we must, if we are aware of that, then we can engage in it in a conscious and powerful way and be part of bringing good into the world and to validate our footprint in the world, to validate our opportunity to be here, to fulfill our goal, our mission, whatever mission we've been given to fulfill it in our life. I had a friend that a few years ago, he retired. He was a detective for the police force in Spokane for a number of years, and he had to have bypass surgery in his late 50s, and his dad had died of a heart attack when he was 49, and so he was kind of concerned about that, obviously. And so he decided to take an early retirement at 58. And I asked him after he retired, I said, what are you doing with yourself, And, I kind of expected to hear, well, I don't know, I'm just kind of playing golf and hanging around. But he wasn't. He decided to go down to the school, the grade school that's like a couple blocks from his house in the Spokane Valley, and volunteer to help with teaching students who are having a difficult time reading. And so he said, I go down there every day for a couple, 3 hours, and I work with kids, help them learn how to read better, the ones that are struggling and having a difficult time. And he said, it's very fulfilling, and it's very meaningful, and it gives me a kind of a focus around my life. And I thought, well, that's wonderful. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. He's showing up in a way that he's able to, because he had a retirement, he's able to support himself, and so he contributes to the world. A member of my congregation back in the South Sound, in the Seattle area, her name is Jean. Her husband was he was a writer for ESPN. He was a sports, he was on all the sports radio stations, talking about the games and things that were going on. And I had known him heard him for a number of years. And then when they showed up at church, it was kind of fun to meet him and to meet her. And she's really a sweet lady. And this was about 10 years ago, maybe a little longer, 10, 11 years ago. Anyway, she came up to me one day, and this was during the time of the recession, and she came up and she said, I just want you to know that I quit my job, and I decided to join AmeriCorps. Now, she's in her mid-40s. She had 2 teenage daughters at that time. So I decided I said, well, how does Don feel about that? He says, well, he asked me, he says, does that mean you're going to leave me and go someplace else? Well, it turned out she was assigned to a school 15 minutes from their house in the Puyallup area. And she said, I've been doing this now for a couple of 3 months. She said, it's wonderful. I just really feel good about having the opportunity to do that and to be a part of that experience. I had one lady in my congregation, she was 74, and she applied for the Peace Corps to go overseas and to teach, because she had some skills that she could use to teach. And she had me write a letter for her so she could get approved, to do that. And I was inspired. In fact, I was thinking, well, gee, I'd like to do that, And since then, I've dropped that idea. But I have other things I want to do. So, but it's just so powerful to have those testimonies, people that ask the question, why is it the way it is? And the second question is, what can I do? What small thing can I do every day to make a difference, to change that dynamic, to not only think about the positive changes that we want to make, but actually to engage in some sort of experience where I'm actually doing something meaningful. And I think that's what today is about. See, we're going to go through a process in our service today, and many of you have done it before, where we are going to release and let go of that which is getting in our way, the attitudes, feelings, opinions, whatever it is that shows up that might be getting in our way of moving forward in our life in a positive way. Today's not necessarily about, it could be if you want it to be, but not in my context today, is not necessarily about getting a bigger house or a nicer car or any of those things. It's not about things. And if you like to make it about things, you're welcome to do that. But in the context of what I'm talking about, it's about making a difference. It's about what am I going to do in 2020. 2020 is going to be an interesting year with all the politics that are going on and all the things that are happening. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, I think, to a large degree in many ways. And so I think, how can we show up? How can we prepare ourselves today and to set an intention going forward that we might be open and receptive to being guided to what it is that we are here to do this year, this coming year, and to make a difference in the world. And I want to tell you, if you're able to do that, if you're able to move into this next year in that consciousness and in that awareness and contribute in that way, the rest takes care of itself. The prosperity that you need, the abundance you need, the things that you need in order to show up and serve will be there for you, because that's the promise of Spirit. Spirit will always be there when you need that. And so we are setting the consciousness and the tone to move into the year trusting that we can show up and make a difference, that we can be open. You may not have anything specifically in your mind right now. Maybe it's not about serving at a soup kitchen or that kind of thing. Maybe it's about something else. Maybe it's about environmental things. A number of years ago, I really got focused on environmentalism, and I've been, over the last few years, just constantly thinking about how I can shrink my footprint, how I can do things differently. I watched this video on Netflix about, what's it called? It's the Food Inc. Food Inc. And it was about our food supply and and the way that is all set up, and how animals are treated, and it's pretty disturbing, to watch it, but it's enlightening as well. And one of the things in it that I was very compelling is they pointed out how you as an individual, in the choices that you make as a consumer, can change the world. And I thought, it's just me? Just this little me and my little expenses that I have, Yes, that we can choose to buy food that is produced healthily and kindly and compassionately. We can choose to take care of the planet in some way, shape, or form. We can think about the choices that we make, and it comes down to us as individuals. And as we engage in that, we're making a difference. One person can make a difference, can lower the footprint on the planet. And maybe that's not your thing. Maybe there's something else that is on your plate that you're interested in making a contribution or a difference around. But that just happened to be a focus for me, and it's made a difference for me. I think about every purchase I make. I think about, when I fill my gas tank, do I need to make this trip? I think about it. I started riding my bike to church this last summer most every day instead of driving. Just little things that make a difference, that help us feel good about ourselves and how we're contributing to the planet. And so we're going to go through this process and decide how it is that we want our year to show up and how we want to fit into to making a difference, to making a difference in the world. And so we have, I want to explain what we've got. Where's my thing? Yeah, it's got it. Okay. Everybody have a program? Everybody have a piece of paper? Yeah. So there's, in the parts in your program, there is the flash paper, which is this little piece of paper right here. And we're going to go through a meditation and kind of think, feel, and experience. We need experience. This, for the purpose of this, is to write down those things you would like to release, to let go of, to transform, and to change the energy around them. And it could be fear, it could be anger, it could be hurt, it could be forgiving someone, like Leanne told me about this morning, that she used it to just let go of something that made a difference for her. Whatever it is, you don't have to write an essay about it. You can. It's about releasing. You just can write one word that might represent what it is that you want, and write several words. It's not like a book. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to be burning those. And this is flash paper. So you don't just put it in the flame. You pick this up and do this, and then it'll flash. Okay. So we're going to have somebody here to help with that. We will not let you burn regular paper. So don't use regular paper. Sets off the smoke alarms and all kinds of stuff. So we got to use the flash paper, please. If you need more flash paper, there's some more in the back. You can go get it. The second thing we have in our program is an envelope with a sheet of paper in it, and that's for you to write a letter of intention, a letter to God, about what you want. You release this energy, and now you've created this space in consciousness for you to fill with something. So we would like to fill with something positive, something that you would like to happen. And it can be as specific as you would like, or it can be fairly general. I want to be guided and directed. I wrote one a number of years ago. What did I do with it? I brought it with me. It says, I'm here to bring good into the world. I seek your presence in a conscious way in my daily life so that my focus will be on fulfilling my unique role in creating a better world filled with joy and compassion. So it's a little more general. This year, it is my intention to focus my energy on changing the way we treat the animals and provide us with food. So that was the year of my kind of shifting into an environmental consciousness. I set the intention to eat healthily, food grown in sustainable ways that are the ecosystem of our planet. So that's kind of the gist of it. So you can do something like that, or you can be much, much more specific about what it is that you want to show up in your experience. So just kind of the logistics of this is that we're going to go through a meditation, and then I'm going to guide you into writing what it is that you want to release. And then once we get that done, then you're going to have an opportunity to start your letter to God, and we'll deal with that. But while that's happening, I want each row to come forward and come through this line to release it. So while everybody else is waiting for their turn, you can be working on your letter to God. Does that make sense? Okay. So then, because you don't want to release something without filling it with something positive. You don't want to release a negative and leave a vacuum. You want to release the negative and then fill it with something that you can put your mind and your heart and your focus on and your energy on it. So the ushers will indicate when you are to come up. We want you to go, not Julie necessarily, but we want you to go out to the wall and come in this way and then back down the center and back to your seat. Does that make sense? So out, around, they've got two bowls, tongs, and so we'll be all set. So why don't we sing our meditation song? Where's Julie? Sing our meditation song, and we'll get...
Please join me in singing Use Me. Use me, oh God. God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, loving us and shining its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, all in all, loving us and shining its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God loves us and shines its light. God loves us and shines its light. God loves us and shines its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Oh, show me all that I must do.
Now I invite you, if you would, just to close your eyes with your papers comfortably on your lap. Just lay them there ready to write when the Spirit moves. First, we'll be writing on the onion skin paper, a small piece, that which we are to release. So I invite you to relax your body and just prepare for a time of listening to that inner voice, the voice in you that knows what you need to hear, what your heart of hearts is seeking to bring forth, what you need to let go of. What you need to release. For what it is that you are holding on to contains energy. And it is energy that we are seeking to release in our life. Energy that holds us back. That wakes us up at night with worry and concern, that makes us hesitate, that keeps our attention focused in an area that we may not be able to change. I want you to visualize yourself being right now in a really comfortable place. Could be next to an ocean, in a meadow in the mountains, on a mountaintop, a special room that you feel safe and secure and peaceful in. A place where you feel close to the Holy Spirit, to God. Feel the warmth of the sun shining on you through a window or out in the open. Feel peace as you hear the haunting sounds that call you deeper. This is a place where your soul is open. A place where you are so loved, so cared about, so safe, that your life is revealed to you as a powerful journey, a hero's journey, a journey that you once again begin today. It is this place that you can clearly see the thoughts and feelings, perceptions and attitudes that have defined you up to this time. They've defined your behavior and have caused you to say and do things which you may regret. So in this moment of clarity, you can see any resentments that you now hold against anyone, no matter how small or insignificant. They've held you back. They've held you back from being the perfect expression of God. And in this moment, you can see that your anger may not be about another's behavior, but it may be about not being connected to the divine presence within. There may be a feeling of separation. We know that we are never really angry at another, we are only separate. We only feel disconnected. And therefore our anger is fear. Not really anger, but fear that we are alone. So when you feel so moved, when you feel the presence of Spirit move in you, just take the piece of tissue paper and just begin to write a word or words that allow you to let go, something that you would like to release. It may be as simple as fear. It may be loneliness. It may be a hurt of the past. It may be a judgment that you may have made that has separated you from someone you love. Whatever it is, just write it down on this paper. We can release feelings of lack or limitation or fear or old hurts. And so you place that energy in the paper in front of you. You infuse that energy into that paper. You give it to that. For it now contains, that energy is now contained in that paper, and it is ready to be transformed so that it may be used in a new and better way. And in a moment, we'll be coming forward to release that energy. But once you finish writing on that small piece of paper, then take the paper out of the envelope. And if you're willing to address your envelope to yourself, your name, your address, and are willing to leave it here with us, we can return it to you at some time next year. And so on the paper, write a date, and then just write, Dear God. Dear God, dear Spirit. However you want to phrase that. And so as people come forward to release, just begin to write your letter. And when it's your turn, just set it down and then come back to it. And so we'll have plenty of time to finish it. So if the ushers would come forward. I now release these errors so that the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. These errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. These errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. I now release these errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. These errors so the energy can be used in a new and better way. And so let's just stay in this space for a moment. And as we move through the remainder of the service, continue to write your letter to God. And when you're finished, fold it and put it in the envelope and seal it. And we have a basket in the back of the sanctuary you can put it in so that you might receive it sometime this next year. Father, Mother God, this letting go is my powerful statement of my intention to live the teaching created for me even before I was born. I know I've been shaped and formed by thought and deed, and I know I step into my true power as a creative being, an instrument of bliss, and I bring this into manifestation through my thoughts, words, with your blessings. Thank you, God, for this understanding.
You are a child of God, a glorious creation. Stand still and see the glory. Watch as God's mysteries unfold. Bask in the sweetness of pure living waters, refreshing, reviving the soul. Stand still and see God's glory. Hallelujah, 'tis wondrous, the victories and triumphs. Stand still, ye people, be silent and see God's glory. Hallelujah, the glory. Hallelujah, stand still and see God's glory. All hail the infinite wisdom. None is so mighty as thee. Master, creator of all things enduring, none else is so precious to me. Stand still and see God's glory. Hallelujah, 'tis wondrous, the victories and triumphs. Stand still, ye people, be silent and see the glory. Hallelujah, the glory. Hallelujah, stand still and see God's glory. Hallelujah, hallelujah, stand still and see the
Thank you, Julie. Ah, you feel lighter? Anybody going to float? Levitate? I wanted to mention, Carrie and I went last night and saw It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the Fred Rogers story. Has anybody seen that? It's at the Hayden for $3, and it's great. It's well worth seeing. It was perfect movie for a therapist too. She loved it. But it was wonderful, and so I'd really invite you, if you're not doing anything, to check it out. I think it's great. So let's take our gifts, our love offerings, our expressions of love that we send forth into this ministry, with a sense of appreciation and joy and connection to Spirit. We know that as we give, we receive. As we receive, we give. And so we both give and receive in love and in joy. And so we bless our gifts by affirming our song, Divine Love.
divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that
Let us pray. Father, Mother God, we acknowledge this offering as the very substance of your being, created for our use before the world was formed. We know it has been shaped and formed in our thoughts and in our hearts, and now comes into manifestation through our thoughts and our words, and enters this your ministry with your blessing upon it. According to your perfect law, it returns to each giver, heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For our increased understanding of this law, we do give thanks. Amen. And now, we did not have Sunday school today, and so we invited the children to come in. So we're not bringing the children in. So let's all stand and join hands as we sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." Prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, because I am, and all is well. Amen.